Each and every day, the sun gives the earth 35,000 times more energy than it uses.
I just wanna be alone again. And I'm remembering I was a wreck when we met at the dollar store. I should have
Alright,
made a run for the
the project is a solar powered golf cart.
now I'm into deep.
Whenever I charge this thing, it pulls just under 20 amps, about as much as an air conditioner, and it charges pretty much overnight. So I charge it between one and two times a month, and I calculate that it costs about $10 every time I charge this thing. So it could be $20 a month. So the idea is to put solar panels on top, one 5-watt solar panel per battery. This is a 48-volt system. I got a little nest brewing right there. These are 8-volt batteries, Trojan batteries, which really are the best darn batteries in my opinion. But so there are 6 of them at 8 volts, so 48 volts. So one 5-watt panel using Ohm's law, an 8-volt battery, during sunlight hours, it should give more than a half an amp to each battery. So my hope is to completely eliminate any need of ever plugging the charger back into the grid. Let's cover just a few minor electrical basics. Take that nest out of there. If you use, let's say, one solar panel to charge this, it's got to be able to give 48 volts. Most solar panels, the raw voltage that the sun gives the panel, it comes out 20 volts, which is okay if you're charging a 12-volt battery or an 8-volt battery. This is without an inverter or a charge controller. So the problem, I'll just give you an example. These lights did not come with the golf cart. I had to install those. So each light pulls 12 volts. So I have 48 volts here. So what I had to do was use 3 batteries for 24 volts and wire the lights in series so that I turned 2 12-volt lights into one 24-volt light. Then what I did here was split the battery bank in half. And you have to be real careful, because when you use 3 batteries and you go from either side of the 3 batteries, electricity wants to backfeed to the other batteries. So this worked out fine because I have 3 batteries and 3 batteries. Now this might be over the top and overly complicated, but you have to be aware of backfeed. So what this is doing is it's using these 3 batteries, and then it's using these 3 batteries in the way of backfeed. So if you hook a voltmeter up there, it comes to 24 volts. Same thing holds true with the solar panel. I'm going to go positive and negative on each battery to an individual solar panel. I have to hook all these up at one time. If I don't do that, let's say one solar panel is bad, then the good solar panel is going to backfeed 2 batteries. So it's important that each solar panel is directly hooked up to the battery. The other issue is, while I drive around, the battery and function of the golf cart will not be affected while the sun is trickle charging the batteries. Another important note, when you trickle charge batteries, there's no need for a charge controller. Once you get up to a pretty high wattage solar panel, now you've got to use a charge controller with battery backup and all that stuff. These solar panels have diodes in them, and what that prevents is backfeed to the solar panel, like all the energy from the battery bleeding out of the solar panel during the nighttime. They have a diode which only allows the current to go in one direction. It's almost like an electrical check valve. So it's important to note that, and that's why I had to get 6 trickle charge solar panels so that I can individually hook each one of those up, so there's no chance of backfeed. And I'll test each solar panel to make sure they're all functioning, so that I don't have 2 batteries backfeeding. What that would do would cause the 2 batteries to have a shortened life. Very important discovery on these. When I wired my front gate for solar, I used Mighty Mule, and this same exact panel for Mighty Mule is $159. And the Mighty Mule solar panel is the exact same thing as this. Or should I say, this is the exact same thing as the Mighty Mule, and it is at Walmart for $49 a piece. So this is a $300 conversion, and based on my calculations, should pay for itself around 15 months. After that, you know, it's to the good. It actually earns money by leaving money in my savings account. Each panel comes with a socket. Here's this goes to the solar panel, so each one of these things adapt to all kinds of little things. Alligator plug, alligator clips. Here's the connection I will be using. On each individual battery, there would be this pigtail, and the order of the hookup doesn't matter as long as one panel is hooked to each battery. So once this is connected to the battery, all you do is just simply make the connection there. And it's a good idea to use dielectric grease. What this does is it keeps the connections from oxidizing, and at the same time allows conductivity. So I'm a little concerned with how at the quality of this connection. So when I'll goop those up pretty good and then bolt each one to the battery and have a little pigtail there ready for the solar panel hookup. The other great thing about these panels is it comes with like it's probably a 10-foot, yeah, it's about a 10-foot cord right there, which is plenty to get the cables from the top of the golf cart down to hook up to the battery. So no additional wiring is required. Depending on the size of the roof of your golf cart, might depend on how you want to mount these. So 3 panels wide is going to cause a little bit of a problem on the outside here. So I think what I'm going to do is go 3 rows of 2 panels, and all they'll simply do is tilt like this. Whenever I park the golf cart, all I got to do is be aware to point it to the sun, and as I use the golf cart, of course the sun will move, so each time I get off the golf cart, I'll point it in a way that it still gets sunlight, but then will be covered for a few hours. And then I might notice the sun's off of it and might have to, you know, move it just a little bit to put it in the sun. But so this is the idea. The other thing you got to keep in mind is the angle of winter versus summer will change. So I'm going to try to do to make two pieces to get the angle correct, depending on whether it is summer or winter. And all I'll do is change the height of the back end of this for summer or winter. It's pretty extreme out here. I'm in the state of Florida, and I noticed from being out here the angle of winter is pretty shallow. The other thing to consider with solar is the intensity of the winter sun is diminished quite a bit compared to the summer. So you really want to dial that angle in more so to the winter than the summer. If you're not going to change the angle, you want to make it optimum for winter. Solar panels used to have very little deflection for optimum performance. Nowadays solar panels are pretty good. They can handle quite a bit of deflection and still produce the amount of wattage and current that's needed. So solar panels have come a long way. The other thing is these things last forever. Well, they'll last through your lifetime anyway. So, alright, so 3. So the easiest way I know to do this is PVC pipe. And I'm probably going to use 1/2-inch PVC pipe. I run at the bottom. I could drill, it has quite a few holes here, which I have to widen that a little bit to receive a tie wrap. And I may want to throw some holes on the inside here just to tie these things together so they're rigidly held together and they don't slip on the PVC pipe, because I'm going to use a tie wrap like this. Anyway, probably more details than you need to know, but that's the plan. When you drill these holes, it's a good idea that right before you go through, you pull back the pressure quite a bit so you don't go through this part of it, because you could damage the solar panel. I talked a bit about these tie wraps before. They have a plastic tab in them, and the black ones are sunlight resistant, so I recommend you use these. Again, all this one does is hold these together so they don't slip on the PVC pipe. The other thing I want to do is on these bottom runs where it's touching the roof of the golf cart, I want to put a little bit of foam and So I'm gonna wrap this on here when I go to tie wrap it. That way I have some cushion to work with. And I can cut little sections of this per tie wrap. Okay, you want to make sure the wires are on top of this. I'm kind of winging this as I go. Just trying to stay ahead of the game and solve any problems that I foresee that are coming. Okay, so that's the concept, and I'll install a 90 on either side here. That's the down tube, so be a 90 here. So one will head down, this one will head back. I'll put a 1/2 inch T right here. I'll wait till the sun comes up, its highest peak. I'll determine that angle and then set it. Now my roof slopes a little bit, so I'll probably have to do each one individually to have 3 rows here. And then make sure they're spread far enough that one doesn't shade the other panel out. So that's the idea, that's the concept. The T here, and then it runs back, and then it'd be another T in the place of this 90, because this one's going to be in the front. Yep. And once that's all done, I'll figure out how to mount it to the top. I've thought about drilling holes in here and tie wrapping it, but then I'd have to seal the holes. And the best thing to use in sealing roof holes is shoe goo. And I'm not, now shoe goo or shoe goop, they make a lot of different brands. They make plumbing shoe goop, which is very liquid and would drip right through the holes. The best shoe goop to use is the stuff that's made for shoes. And of course you got to clean the surface real well for it to adhere. Alright, well that was tedious. Let's see what I ended up doing here. I was very conscious of summer and winter settings with this. So what I ended up doing was, this is the summer setting, which is just slightly off 90 degrees because the sun in the summertime here is almost straight up in the air. So this is the winter setting, and these are not glued, these are just pressure fitted in here. And there's a little bit of slop with these tie wraps allowing me to push those in. It's pretty secure. The entire frame is glued, and then there's 4 simple tie wraps on 4 corners here. And like I said before, I'll just use shoe goop and seal these holes right here. Anyway, that's it. So I'm ready to go back to the summer setting here and roll this thing into the sun and start charging. Okay, your geese gotta go away. I already know it works perfectly because there is a low battery light right here and it was lit up yellow. As soon as I backed it up into the sun, that low level indicator light went out. So I'm getting 0.6 of an amp on each battery. And these are the little pigtails on each battery and the quick disconnect, and it's just basically roughed in there. All I did here was make a little wire way on the seat so it would not smash these cables. Simple, very simple, easy, done. And it doesn't look too bad. I guess I could have painted the PVC, but who cares? And I drove it around a minute, and there's no rattles because there's a gap under here, and there's all the waterline insulation foam. Works pretty well. Only problem here is the PVC under here could fill with water, but it's 1/2-inch PVC. It's not going to weigh too much if it does that. But I can always drill a couple weep holes in the PVC so that it drains out. What? 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 What?
We lay in the glow of the neon city